This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game. They're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that. Hello, and welcome into the Ben Bosscher Show, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Oh, do we have a lot to talk about today. Want to get into a Pistons topic in the 10 o'clock hour regarding why they haven't done all that much in the last week or so. There was a former All-Star that got released in the last 24 hours. Wanted to ask the people if you thought that would be a good fit for the Pistons off the bench, a potential 6th or 7th man. Go get some buckets. Because that's what the Pistons needed last year, right? More guys who could create their own basket, especially off the bench. When Cade Cunningham's not in, I think there might be a perfect answer for you. But, of course, we're going to start yesterday with Team USA being outmatched by Belgium in essentially every way you can think of. Even me, casual soccer fan Ben, knew in the first 8 minutes of that game, oh no, something does not look right. And I'm sure the diehard soccer fans out there could explain to you why, but just my perspective of someone who drops into this tournament every 4 years. First few games I watched for the United States, they just dominated the ball. Ball stayed on the other side of the field, away from the goalie. 8 minutes into this one, that was not the case. 90 minutes into this one, that was not really the case. United States, I felt like couldn't get the ball over to the Belgium side of the field. And it led to a lot of, the ball being on the wrong side of the field and the ball going in the net for the wrong team if you're rooting for the United States. It felt like they were getting full court pressed. I don't know if that's the actual soccer term for it, but I felt like I was watching a Rick Pitino Kentucky 90s team just full court pressing some mid-major school, and the poor mid-major school couldn't figure out what to do. Because the United States would get the ball in their own territory, ready to set up something to go put it to the other side of the field, and just Belgium came flying down the field to just put pressure on them the entire time. The goalie, that freeze for United States, I think the synapses in his brain stopped working about halfway through. That was, it felt like I was watching a car accident for the most part with his goal that he allowed in, the third goal for Belgium. The first one... Yes, that guy's a loser. The first one, total defensive meltdown. The guy gets right behind the defense. I have no idea how that happens if you're a defender. The kid who looks like he's 15 years old end up scoring the goal. Wanted to punch him in the face as I'm yelling at my TV. Who the hell is this guy? The guy for Belgium. The first United States goal, they got a little lucky on the penalty or the free kick. Deflects off of somebody's head, ends up going into the net. Goalie's not even close to making a play for Belgium. The second goal, that 15-year-old who played for Belgium, once again scores a goal. This time it felt like he dunked on the United States player who was playing defense, basically uses him as a ladder, climbs his back, heads the ball in. Word of advice to that United States player? I wrote down his name. No, maybe I didn't write down his name. The guy with the man bun. Either cut that off or hit the weight room, man, because the guy who looks like he's 15 years old just climbed up on your back and dunked on you to score a goal. In general, this game, and then, of course, the third goal that the United States allowed in where the goalie, it was like a car accident. It was like a 20-year-old playing in an NBA Finals game. It's like, yeah, this guy's probably just not built for this moment. That's what it felt like watching the goalie come all the way out of the box, put the ball down on the ground, start trying to kick it, and then it just gets stolen from him like a kid that steals candy from a baby and walks away with his lunch money. It does make you really wonder, is soccer ever going to be the number one sport in this country? Or not even the number one sport, because obviously the answer to that one is no. But is soccer ever going to be great here in America? And it was a nice little run there. I saw the United States official page on Twitter called it magical. I don't know if I'd go that far if you lost in the round of 16. But was this just a prisoner of the moment for 2 weeks talking ourselves into this? Or is this simply, honestly, even if they would have won this game, again, in which they were completely outmatched from the beginning, the lights were way too bright for this team, it felt. This was kind of as far as they could go. Even if they won this game, it's like, it just gets more and more and more unlikely that you can beat the best teams. United States is typically more athletic than a lot of these other clubs. They've got the big, fast athletes, but are they actually poised and skilled and coached well enough to beat some of these best teams in the world? No, they're not. That's what we learned in this tournament. I don't really have reason to believe that that is going to ever get better. Never say never, but it feels like in this moment the lights were a little bit too bright for Team United States, and I wonder if this country will ever get soccer to a point where they can go compete on a big stage. My answer would probably be no. We got caught up in the moment over the last 3-4 weeks. We were riding high. Felt like the United States had all the momentum. We pulled the trump card out. Turns out I think a lot of that stuff was just a distraction for Team United States. And even if none of it happens and Belgium never ends up getting a red card and there's not a huge distraction, the team was just completely outmatched yesterday when the lights were too bright. So I'm working under the assumption, nice run. I'm not sure the United States is ever going to topple the world in soccer the way that they did with hockey. That was always believable. They were always on the cusp of getting it done. But there was always one or two teams, whether it was Canada or Russia, who had a better team. But the United States was always finishing towards the top. Soccer, they've got a long way to go before they are at that point worldwide on an international stage. And that was apparent yesterday. Lights obviously way too bright for Team United States. So I want to recap what happened over the weekend with Kevin McGonigal, Dylan Dingler, and Riley Green all being named All-Stars for the first time. Not Riley Green. Riley Green's a 3-time All-Star. He gets all this crap. All the Tigers fans want to do is dump on this guy. Oh, he's not clutch. Oh, he strikes out too much. Oh, did you see him last year? 3 All-Stars before turning 26 years old. He's played 6 seasons. Half of them he's been an All-Star in. I'd say that's pretty good. But Kevin McGonigal and Dylan Dingler, both first-time All-Stars this season. Dingler has certified, become one of the best catchers, if not the best catcher in the American League. He won the Gold Glove last year. All the advanced numbers still suggest he's the best defensive catcher in the American League. And then, of course, him and Langalois battling it out for who's going to take this Silver Slugger award. Dylan Dingler has been phenomenal this season. One of the best WARs in the American League, not just on the Tigers, not just amongst catchers, but just one of the best WARs in the American League. And then McGonigal is this sensational rookie. I don't really need to tell you any more about McGonigal. You guys all know how special he is. First Tigers rookie since Kaline to make the All-Star team. He's been amazing, of course. But it does make me wonder, okay, if these guys we can lock in, let's say 2 of the 3 of them will make an All-Star team every single year. And maybe the Tigers end up with more. Skubal could still get nominated in. Anybody could still get thrown in there if there's an injury of some sort, if a pitcher needs to be, whatever. We'll see what ends up happening. But let's just stick with it. This 3. 2 of these guys are first-time All-Stars. We expect them to be around All-Star conversation going forward. Who are the other first-time All-Stars that are going to be making debuts in an All-Star or Pro Bowl game or get that nod at least in Detroit sports over the next year? Who's the next player, the next person to be able to claim that after McGonigal and Dingler? Who's going to be the next first-time All-Star in this city? I'll tell you who my answer is when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt. The show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time. Whether you have a leaky roof, storm damage, siding looking a little tired, Bresky has you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today and keep your home strong for years to come. Kyle, Team United States yesterday, little bit of a outmatched. They got outclassed in a lot of different ways. I thought the lights were a little too bright. What was your experience watching the game?
Yeah, I mean, they clearly just weren't as good as Belgium, right? And I see a lot of people in our YouTube chat using good words to describe this. This was the ceiling of this Team USA team. Getting to the quarterfinals was a pipe dream. I think all that stuff is true. It felt like a potential great moment for United States soccer to get over the hump, get to the quarterfinals. It felt like a true realistic opportunity. And then the second that game started, you were like, oh, I don't like how this is going. Mm-hmm. And even after they scored and tied it up 1-1, okay, like maybe we're back a little bit. You got a little bit of mojo. Immediately, it's gone. Just like that. Belgium comes right back and takes the lead, and United States just didn't have enough control. A lot of things. Their goalie stinks. I don't know much about soccer. I know that you're supposed to stop the ball from going into the net. The guy who United States has doing that isn't quite great at that.
Well, the first one that they allowed in, I didn't think it was his fault at all. It's just they got behind the defense. But that third goal, I don't know how that can possibly happen.
How are you the goalie for an entire country and you allow that?
You got pushed over. You got the ball taken from him.
You're the best option?
There's no one behind you. Yeah, I that one was pretty pathetic. Yeah. I wouldn't say it was a successful run. It was fun. But they ultimately fall short of their goal, right? The goal was to make it to the quarterfinals. It's not like it was like, oh, this is a total shocker, but you didn't surpass your goal.
It was quite disappointing. I mean, they were the favorites coming into that match,
Which is weird because they were world ranked 17 and Belgium was either 8 or 9. So I didn't really understand why they were
probably
favorites
the
in
U.S.
that one.
tax plus being one of the home countries.
Yeah. That's probably it. They felt a long ways away from beating Belgium. It'd be one thing if they competed and lost in a heartbreaking fashion. They didn't look like they belonged on the same field as Belgium yesterday.
It felt like they lost 6-1 rather than ended up being 4-1. And also, we literally tried to cheat to win, and it didn't work. That's the most embarrassing part.
Tried to cheat.
Did
cheat.
Basically
rigged
did.
the game for the United States. Pulled the trump card. And it wasn't enough. Couldn't get it done.
Eerily similar to when the Michigan Wolverines cheated against TCU in the college football semifinal and still lost.
Yeah, no, it's basically the exact same way.
It's precisely
the same. 989-837-6125. Iron Stack Technology brings you our 9 o'clock hour. Quick shout out to Iron Stack Technology. We talk about the game plans all the time on the show, the execution of it, and that's how Iron Stack approaches IT. They help businesses stay secure, efficient, and ready for what's next so you can focus on your mission instead of your tech. Iron Stack Technology, solution-driven, mission-focused. You can check them out online at ironstacktechnology.com. The first-time All-Stars for Detroit sports. Who are they? After McGonigal and Dingler named first-time All-Stars this year, who are the next people to be named that? Tell you when we come back here on The Ben Bosscher Show.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9.
by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Okay, welcome back in. It's the Ben Bosscher Show. Now that we got the Team USA stuff out of the way, we might circle back to that in the 11 o'clock hour. Dingler, McGonigal, both named All-Stars over the weekend. First-time All-Stars for the two of them. Who are players that you think could be first-time All-Stars here in Detroit sports over the next, 1 year, the next calendar year? I'll start with the Lions because that's the next, if you're going chronological order, the next group of guys that should be named to an All-Star game would be the Pro Bowl. Although the All-Star break for the NBA is pretty close to where the Pro Bowl is actually played, isn't it? Both of them happening in February. I don't really think there's anybody else on the Pistons that could be named an All-Star, though, other than Cade and Duren. It's pretty tough to have 3 All-Stars, and I don't think Asar Thompson has the offensive stats to be named an All-Star unless there's just a ungodly amount of injuries in the Eastern Conference. It's a deep conference now. So I think there's, you got to write in room for potentially LeBron, Kawhi, Giannis. Cade's going to be one. Brunson, maybe even Cat will get one. To get 3 All-Stars or even 2, it's just going to be tough for the Pistons. I don't envision Asar being eligible to be an All-Star based on his stats.
What if it was Michael Porter Jr. or Trey Murphy? Obviously, we can't work under that stance quite yet.
Even if it is Trey Murphy, it's going to be really tough. I don't think it's off the table, but until those guys are actually Pistons or one of them, let's just assume it's only the guys on the team right now. I don't think there's anybody that is going to be named an All-Star anytime soon other than the guys that already have. Agree? Okay. With the Lions, and I just saw it in the YouTube chat as well, I think there's a chance Jamison Williams can be named an All-Star or a Pro Bowler for the first time in his career this season. So last year he goes 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns, back-to-back seasons with 7 touchdowns. In order for him to be named a Pro Bowler, either a couple guys need to get hurt, maybe Amon-Ra misses a few games, or he just needs to have 75, 80 receptions, which is only 10 to 15 more than he had last year, which isn't all that crazy. If you look at the last 6 games of last season, Jamison Williams had more yards and just as many touchdowns as Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra had the more receptions, and he always will, but they call him Big Play J-Mo for a reason. If J-Mo can become a true 1B rather than a number 2, and I'd say the 1Bs across the NFL are Devontae Adams, T. Higgins when he's healthy is a 1B, George Pickens or CD, whoever you want to pick there. I think those are the best duos that we have across the NFL. If the Lions wide receiver duo can turn more into that, where it's a 1A, 1B type of situation rather than a 1 and 2, I think there is a pretty good chance that J-Mo could be named a Pro Bowler for the first time in his career this upcoming season. Because last year towards the end, he really started to figure it out and put all the pieces of his game together. If he can just limit the drops, be a little bit more consistent from the jump this year, and be the player who he was for the last third of the season throughout the course of the entire year, I think there's a chance he could be named a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, obviously a little tough to predict with a new offensive coordinator coming in, just because we're not 100% sure how Drew Petzing is going to work with this offense in Jamison Williams, but I would assume that looking at how the back half of how this Lions season went offensively, Jamison Williams was great, but the offense in general just felt a lot more clicky once John Morton was out of that role, and so I'm assuming Petzing wants to adopt some sort of that version of the offense. But yeah, especially if you're looking at the other options on the Lions, J-Mo's the best option. Everybody else has already made one.
Yeah, does Sewell count if he moves over to left tackle? He'd be making a Pro Bowler for the first time on the other side of the ball. But then it's
Jack Campbell just made his one.
Yeah, I don't think Cade Mays is quite there yet. Is he really the best center in the National League?
Is
Probably
Tate
not.
Ratledge legit going to be that good?
Yeah, a little bit too bold to say. It's not going to be Tesla, even if he has a great year. Kirby Joseph's never made a Pro Bowler, never made a Pro Bowl team, but also To predict him to have a Pro Bowl season seems a little far-fetched at this point.
To predict him to play enough games.
It's not going to be any of the corners. The only other person that could theoretically make their first Pro Bowl is one of the defensive tackles, Ali McNeil or Tyleik Williams. And I don't think Tyleik Williams is anywhere close yet. But Ali McNeil, 2024, 45 pressures, 3.5 sacks before he ended up getting hurt. So, could have paced out to 5, maybe 6 sacks, 50, 60 pressures somewhere in there. Probably still not good enough to make a Pro Bowl team. But if he can, replicate something of what he did in 2024 and then just finish the season healthy, there's a chance. It's not impossible. That'd be the most likely guy on defense, I think.
What about Jake Bates?
Jake Bates, he's never been a Pro Bowler. I guess he could. He doesn't have a lot of the 60-yard bombs the way that Aubrey does.
There's too many elite kickers in football where Jake Bates just can't really get his name in that room.
I think those are the only Lions, though. It's really just comes down to J-Mo or Ali McNeil. There's one on each side of the ball because everybody else, you're right, everybody else has already been named a Pro Bowl player. It's not that hard to make a Pro Bowler in the NFL. In terms of the Tigers for next season, I'm going to stick my head out right now for Troy Melton. I think either Troy Melton or Jackson Jobe are named All-Stars next season. I think there's enough juice there with both of them. Melton has been arguably the best pitcher that the Tigers have had this season, even though he missed the first month and a half. Leads the team in ERA, leads the team in WHIP. And then Jobe, of course. Don't forget about Jackson Jobe. He should be coming back at some point in August, I would imagine. He's throwing 100 mile per hour in bullpen sessions right now in live batting practice. This was the number one prospect in the Tiger system for a few years for a good reason. He still has a chance to be really special. So I'll put my neck out for Troy Melton and Jackson Jobe. One of those guys will be the next Tiger to be named an All-Star that hasn't already been named one. I don't know if there's anybody else on offense that can do it.
Yeah, pretty tough to make it as a starting pitcher. You basically have to be a top 5 pitcher in the league to be named an All-Star. Tigers didn't have one this year. Obviously, we had Casey Mize last year, Tarek Skubal the last 2 years. It's a tough one. I would probably have to lean to Troy Melton just because we've seen him. Obviously, Jobe is the more raw talent, but Melton has put in the work, and Melton he has the numbers to prove it at the big league level right now. So, yeah, if you're going to pick one of those two guys, I would probably lean Melton with you as well. No first-year All-Star love for Max Clark potentially next year? Would be kind of crazy to have back-to-back first-year players being All-Stars.
And in a lot of ways, he'd kind of be taking Riley's spot because it's not like Judge is ever not going to be an All-Star. Or the other outfielders in the American League. Well, not this year, but even Riley was kind of clawing his way into the All-Star game this year as a reserve. No, I don't. I'm going to say Max Clark will not be a first-time All-Star as a rookie. That's pretty hard to do, and the Tigers already had one guy do it in his rookie season this year. I don't think it happens back-to-back years. We missing anybody? Because I don't think there's any of the prospects coming up. I don't think there's any offensive players that I could see taking an enormous leap the way that Dingler did the last year and a half. I don't really see it with any of these other younger guys. Keith would be one where it's can Keith really figure it out? But I think the ship has sailed. I think Keith can be a Major League Baseball player for a long time, but I don't know if I ever see All-Star in his future. Do you?
No, he's just not going to play enough.
Yeah, I forget.
He's not even qualified.
And he likely never will be as long as A.J. Hinch is the manager of this team. Yeah, that's the kind of the part, too, because as long as A.J. Hinch is the manager, there's just going to be players that, like a Kerry Carpenter. If he was just playing every day, he could theoretically make an All-Star game one of these years, but he just will never have enough at-bats to qualify being a guy who's worthy of a spot in an All-Star team because A.J. Hinch doesn't play him really against other left-handed pitching. It's so bizarre, even though he's been better than Jahmai Jones against lefties this year. But we can save that for a different day. Scotty says in our YouTube, if Bryce Rayner can continue what he's doing and climb the farm system fast enough, maybe he could be a first-time All-Star. True, maybe. I think we're too many years removed from that even being a possibility to say that he'll be the next guy to be an All-Star in Detroit. That'd be pretty disappointing.
2028 likely.
Yeah, that'd be pretty disappointing if Bryce Rayner was the next guy to be named an All-Star for the first time in Detroit.
Would it? Or would that mean Bryce Rayner is awesome?
No, it could mean Bryce Rayner's awesome, but that means we don't have another new All-Star for the next 2 years. Because, Rayner's still a high A guy. I don't think he's going to be playing baseball for the Tigers next year.
No.
So that'd mean we go 2 full years without a Lion, Red Wing, Piston, or Tiger being named an All-Star for the first time. Be a little disappointing.
But you're laying out the options, and it's like...
A lot of the guys have already been named All-Stars.
Right. Like, there's not a lot of great options.
Ennis Rakestraw calling it now. See that in the YouTube. Oh, God.
Could happen. He'd have to play more than, 2 times.
Yeah, the 46 career snaps make me say no, Ennis Rakestraw will not be a first-time All-Star this upcoming season. Yeah, we'll get to a couple more. I'll go to the text line here when we come back, 989-837-6125, and then we'll see if anybody can come up with a different name that we haven't already mentioned. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mid. Hey, Mid-Michigan, do your eyes feel itchy, dry, or irritated all day? That's not normal, and Mid-Modern Eye Care and Dry Eye Clinic specializes in dry eye treatment that actually works. If your eyes burn, water, or feel tired from screens, they help you get real lasting relief. From advanced dry eye care, exams, glasses, contacts, they've got you covered. Stop dealing with discomfort and see comfortably again. See better, feel better at Mid-Modern Eye Care and Dry Eye Clinic next to Kroger in Midland.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, we'll keep going with the World Cup. We'll keep going with the All-Star topic here, but I do want to hit the news here in a moment. Kyle, start thinking of teams you want to root for the rest of the World Cup, because I've got a couple I'm going to throw at you after the news. So without further ado, take it away.
The Mits Morning Catch.
I've already been thinking about it, Ben.
Perfect. You've come prepared.
I started thinking about it the second that Belgium-USA match ended. I started thinking about it when it was 3-1, because that match was over. Okay, let's do the news. Other news going on, of course, Team USA losing to Belgium in the round of 16. But the match that happened earlier in the day, Ronaldo also knocked out. Portugal falling to Spain. Cristiano Ronaldo says, quote, "I'm sad to leave the World Cup this way. As I said yesterday, I gave it my all, and I leave with a clear conscience. That's the life of a footballer. You have to move forward." So Ronaldo's done. Neymar is done. A lot of legends are done in the World Cup.
Messi hasn't announced this is it for him yet, right?
I don't believe so. And I don't really know why it should be.
He still looks like the best player out there. I mean, I think that some people have closed the gap on who that best player in the world is. But, I mean, they play today and they're minus 800. I know they had the crazy game against Cape Verde in which they were, like, huge favorites too. But if he wins the whole thing and goes out on top, and, like, let's say he beats France again, maybe he does announce the last World Cup and you go out on top as back-to-back champs. It's not a bad way to go out. A lot of people refuse to do it. A lot of people will die fighting, but there's nothing wrong with going out on top.
Come back for the three-peat, though?
At age, what is he? He's 39. Age 43. I don't know.
That would be tough. But he's still pretty good. So, hey, look, we thought LeBron was going to retire at 39.
He won't do it.
He won't do it either. We're going to talk about LeBron at some point, too.
Really?
Let's first off look at the community calendar presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. The Loons are back at home this week. Man, it's been quite some time since the Loons have played here at Dow Diamond. It's been back-to-back road trips, and they've been playing pretty good as well. They're 10-4 to open up the second half. They start a 6-gamer tonight with the Dayton Dragons at 7:05. So come out this week. Should be pretty good weather all week as well. We got a lot of fun themes going on this weekend. Pontooners this weekend. Not the Loons, so that's pretty fun. A lot of good stuff going on at Dow Diamond.
Let's see what else we got. We got Cancer Awareness Night. That's tomorrow. We've got a regular day today here at the ballpark. We've got Pontooners, like you said. A beer run on the 9th, so that would be Thursday.
Yep.
Got a beer run on Thursday, presented by Z93. We've got Yacht Rock on Friday. That sounds fun. And then Splash Day on Saturday. Splash Day on Sunday.
Splash Day.
Super Splash Day on Sunday.
Super Splash.
Should be fun.
All right.
Pontooners merch this year. Crazy.
I don't think I've seen it.
Crazy cool.
Oh, wait, no, I have. Yeah. It does look crazy cool. I'm going to have to get my hands on some of that this week. Okay, other stuff going on in the news. Tigers Athletics. They start a 3-game series tonight at 6:40. It's Scooble Bump Day as well. He's pitching against JT Ginn of the Athletics.
Who won Detroit Tigers had a tremendous amount of success against in his career. So that's coming up a little bit later on in the show. Big series, though, because if they beat the A's in this series, 6 games left before the break, if they beat the A's in this first series, they're jumping them in the standings. So for those of you who still have faith, for those of you who still believe, this is a big one. The next 3 days. Scooble on the mound to start things off. You feel pretty good.
100%. I mean, you feel
he's
pretty
given
good
up
with
a lot of home runs since he's come back.
Yeah, but he gives up one. I'm not that upset about it. Most of the time, it's a solo shot, anyways. Okay, other stuff in the news. Michigan State, their president, Kevin Guskowitz, who was leaving to go to Clemson, is not. He's staying at MSU despite announcing his departure for Clemson over a month ago. This is pretty big news, and not really sure how it went down. He's signing a new 5-year extension with Michigan State at $1 million a year, less than what he had accepted at Clemson, which was less than his current salary at Michigan State. So he went down twice. Also, with Kevin G, I guess we can call him, staying in East Lansing, Kentucky now owes Michigan State the full $5 million buyout on Jay Batt's deal as well. So MSU is making money off of this move. Still no new athletic director named, but this feels like the first win for MSU in quite some time in a long series of L's.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what transpired to get President G to stay, but ultimately a good thing when you don't have turnover in your department. And clearly he was worth fighting for if they were able to retain him. They weren't just going to let him walk away that easily. So it shows you that they're willing to fight for him to stay there, and whatever they did, it worked. If I had to guess, Tom Izzo was involved and guilt-tripped him into believing in what it takes to be a Spartan and buying in. So shout out Tom Izzo.
Izzo did say he would cut off one of his limbs and give his entire salary away to keep him. I don't think he had to do either of those things, but it could be like a Kawhi Leonard under the table type of situation.
Oh, like an aspiration.
It could be like that, yes. We also had, just as the show started today, Donovan Mitchell signing a new 4-year, $273 million maximum contract extension. Also has a player option and a full trade kicker as well. Big money for Donovan Mitchell.
NBA money's different, man. NBA money is just a different level. You got the guys like Donovan Mitchell, who would you consider as a top 10 player? Fringe top 10 player?
Fringe.
Is being paid more than any other quarterback per season, right? Is there a $70 million quarterback?
No way.
I don't think so, because Goff was like the highest for a while at 60, right? So if on average year, AAV, highest paid quarterback in the NFL is Mahomes at $63 million. We've got Donovan Mitchell, who's like kind of a franchise player, is being paid $68 million this season. I don't know, man. With the era that we're in, the hard second apron, which is essentially a hard cap that you don't want to go over, although ironically Cleveland is the only team that did go over it last season. It's just a lot of money to lock up towards a guy who, it's just kind of known at this point, probably can't be your best player on a finals team. It just seems like if he's the best player on your team, you're going to run into some problems in the postseason.
Now that Brunson won, I think that idea has been stretched a little bit.
But it's not even for me Donovan Mitchell's size. It's his play style of when it gets rough, there's a lot of tunnel vision that becomes involved. There's a lot of one-on-one that ends up being played rather than Brunson, who's a manipulator of the defense, I think.
Not even
Brunson's
when it gets tough.
that.
I mean, that's just Mitchell's game in general.
Yeah. He's like a 2.5 assists per game type of guy in the playoffs. So, I don't know, man. Great scorer, fun basketball player. 20 years from now, he'll have the That Guy Was a Problem mixtape that you can put on. But $68 million a year. He's the highest paid player in the league now.
Cleveland had to do it, though. So he wouldn't hit free agency.
Is he the highest paid player in the league now?
I don't think this is quite Booker money.
Oh, yeah. Another one of, exact same situation. I think Booker's a little better than Mitchell, but kind of same deal. Fringe top 10 player, probably more likely on the outside
players,
looking
quote
in.
unquote, but they're fringe top 10 guys. Certainly not top 5 guys or anything like that.
No.
Speaking of contracts, Nikola Jokic says he's going to wait on his extension with the Nuggets until next summer. He was eligible for one, just like Donovan Mitchell was this offseason, but he's going to wait till next year to do so, likely meaning he's going to be more expensive for Denver a year from now.
Yeah, go chase the money.
We'll do one more thing in the news, and we'll save the rest for later. Terrion Arnold, amidst all of this court case going on, clears waivers, and he is now a free agent. Any team could sign Terrion Arnold if they want while all this stuff is going down. I wouldn't advise them to, but you never know. The Las Vegas Raiders are a team that exists. So are the Cleveland Browns. So, teams with no morals. So they can go sign them if they want. Yeah, the Chiefs. That's a really good one.
Yeah, the Chiefs have not been standing on moral high ground for a while. They allowed Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift to do their thing. I still can't get over.
That's the example you use?
I still can't get over the wedding inside of MSG. For what reason? It's not a beautiful scene. There's no nice pictures to be had. You're not on a beach. You're not in a beautiful church. You're in Madison. You're in an arena. Why?
Did you see that Dean Blandino was there?
Like the rules analysis?
Like the rules analysis on Fox, I think?
One of them.
It was him. There was obviously like a lot of photos got released, and it was him, Joe Buck and his wife, Greg Olson and his wife, plus Dean Blandino.
I haven't
Dean
seen a
Blandino
single...
was at Taylor Swift's wedding. The guy who pops on the TV for 5 seconds every game and just says incorrect things and then leaves. Hey, Dean, what's the call here? Yeah, this is going to be pass interference for sure.
I haven't seen
Not pass interference.
any of the photos, and I think I'd like to keep it that way. Any of the dark photos from inside of an arena. So weird, man. I really hope Kelsey retires. I can't do this for another year. It's getting sad, too. You know, where it's like, this guy was such a great football player, and now he's just the husband of Taylor Swift. What a fall off. 989-837-6125. I'd argue fall off. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Golfers, if you're looking for a new place to play, look no further. Apple Mountain in Freeland, where every round comes with a side of scenic perfection. Championship-level course, beautifully maintained, and just the right mix of challenge and fun. When you've wrapped up 18, head to the Apple Mountain Restaurant, the perfect place for casual elegance and spectacular views. Whether you're playing for score or just soaking up the atmosphere, Apple Mountain is your place to unwind, recharge, and enjoy the game. Apple Mountain in Freeland, minutes away, but miles from ordinary.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on By Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
You know, we were watching the World Cup yesterday out at Nord, and the puppy chow, the entire industrial plate of puppy chow, I couldn't stop eating it. And now my stomach, even right now, I love it. I love the puppy chow so much. I still feel like there's just a rock in my stomach, and I need some sort of like kombucha drink to just flush it all out. Maybe TMI there, but I the point of that is I can't stop eating the puppy. If it's in front of me, I'm just going to continue eating it, and now I think I'm regretting it the next day. It's heavy. It's a heavy snack. Anyway.
All right.
What team are you rooting for the rest of the World Cup? Because I feel like we both got pretty invested into it over the weekend, like really since United States' first knockout game up until yesterday. We were pretty invested to the point where I don't want to just like throw the towel in on the season or on the tournament and not watch it the rest of the way. And I want some sort of rooting interest now that the United States is out. So who are you going to be rooting for the rest of the way with this tournament?
Well, you got to look at, like, what stance do you want to take? Do you want to root for the juggernaut? Do you want to root for the individual star? Do you want to root for the underdog? Like, there's a lot that goes into picking what team to adopt. I'll first off just say I'm not going to, like, root as hard for this team as I was for the United States. I think that's kind of an obvious statement.
Of course.
I'm obviously not rooting for England, right? They're like the team I don't want to root for the most.
Can we get an explanation as to that one? Why is it obviously?
I don't want to root for England. They came over here and beat Mexico on their home turf, like when they're one of the host countries too. Like,
I'm not telling you you're wrong.
Harry Kane, I don't care. I'm not rooting for England.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Okay.
England hates America. Like,
not according to Colin Cowherd. Did you catch that yesterday in his open? Oh, everybody hates America. That's not true. I travel overseas 2-3 times a year. I always get treated great. Yep, Colin, because you have money. You get treated great because you have monies.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, the 2 times a year you go over there, it's like, oh, yeah, I know that they love it all the time. Okay, interesting.
I love Colin, man.
So, like, I think rooting for Messi in Argentina is pretty fun. I don't hate that one. I'm not going to root
for sure rooting for Messi.
I'm not rooting for Spain because Spain, you know, coming into the tournament, they're the big dog. No. Mbappe in France is a fair one because they lost the last time out. Mbappe is just pretty fun to root for in general.
Yeah. He's like a young prodigy.
Yeah.
He's on track to be the next Messi or Ronaldo type of guy.
And then like Switzerland and Colombia who play today, kind of could care less about either of them. I'm not going to root for either of them. There's an obvious answer here, and it's Norway. They check every box. Star player that is fun to root for. Boom. Erling Haaland has been like the beloved presence of the World Cup. Everybody has attached themselves to him, and I don't know anything about soccer. I don't watch the Premier League. I know like people are saying, "Oh, this guy didn't come out of nowhere. He plays for Man City. Like he's
to you and I, he came out of nowhere.
He came out of nowhere, man. I don't know anything about this guy. I think he's awesome. Checks that box. huge underdog. Checks that box. Norway's never even been this far in the World Cup. Like, so they check the underdog box, they check the star player box, and they're playing England next? Oh, so I'm already rooting against England, and they're playing them? Boom. They check 3 boxes for me. No other team checks that. Give me Norway.
For me, it's for sure between Norway and Argentina, and they could play each other in the semifinal, which that's where it gets like whoever wins this game, I'm for sure rooting to win the championship. But when they're actually playing each other, I don't know what I'm actually going to be rooting for. Because on one hand, I think Messi and Argentina making it all the way, trying to go back-to-back would be really fun. But the Norway story is so compelling. Erling Haaland is such a fascinating player that for everyone to just kind of embrace this guy as like the darling of the tournament who's breaking out and becoming a super-duper star, a guy who's getting like hundreds of millions of impressions on everything he's posting, I don't know, man. There's something fun about him that I can't quite put my hand on. I don't know if it's that he's got the funny celebrations where he, instead of running around like everybody else, like they, like their feet are on fire and they're trying to put him out, he just kind of like starts flexing and dragging his teammates around like a gorilla, essentially. I like that celebration. I like all the social media stuff with him. He is a joy to watch actually play because he's so fast and also just the biggest guy on the field at all times. Feels like he's the biggest and the fastest. So there's that element of it too. Yeah, I think it's totally appropriate to adopt Norway the rest of the way if you're an American.
I mean, I almost followed the guy on IG. Like, I almost fanboyed out.
What's wrong with following him on Instagram?
I don't know nothing about this guy. And then, because I realized, like, no, that's me being a little bit too fanboy. I don't need to do all that.
It's okay to follow somebody on Instagram. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm nobody's fan.
That's such a lie. Maybe in this tournament you're nobody's fan, but you're definitely a fan of other players.
No, I'm
you don't
saying
follow
in
any of the
general.
Lions on Instagram?
No, I do. But, like, I'm not.
You don't follow LeBron on Instagram?
Of course I follow LeBron because we're boys.
Right, the king. You have to, it's by rule, you have to follow the king.
Like, yeah, I'm
What's wrong with following
day
Erling
Norway.
Haaland?
Norway all day.
So what's wrong with giving him a follow on Instagram?
Nothing's wrong with that. So I'm saying I almost did.
I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to follow him on Instagram right now and see what's going on. Because he's the biggest winner of the tournament so far. Not just because he's playing just as good as anybody else. He is tied for the most goals with Messi and Mbappe, right?
And Ronaldo. I think
Ronaldo finished with 7.
I think all of them had 7. Maybe not Ronaldo.
No, I don't think Ronaldo had 7.
Gary, I bet Kyle follows Tom Izzo.
On Instagram?
You think Tom Izzo's got Instagram?
Yeah, I was just going to say. I don't think Tom Izzo does the Instagram thing. 55 million followers on Instagram. I want to know how many he had like 2 months ago before the tournament started.
I would assume over 1 million, but I guess I really have no idea.
No clue.
No way it was over like 10 million.
This guy is funny, man. It's really funny. All right, 989-837-6125. Why have the Pistons not had any updates with Jalen Duren in this entire saga that just doesn't really seem to end and also has put an entire halt on the rest of the offseason? That's when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Minute. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you do your social media. We are there, and we will be right back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.
house. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
So it appears the Pistons and Jalen Duren are in a little bit of a standoff right now. There hasn't been too much movement, hasn't been too much noise, which is very atypical of an NBA off-season story being covered. Typically, think about what it was for 2 straight weeks. It was every time the wind blows, we had a new update about Jalen Duren, what he wants, what his expectations are, a new number, a new team he's visiting, all of this stuff for 2 straight weeks, a million updates, hour by hour. And really since last Thursday, last Friday, last Wednesday, we haven't gotten a peep from either the Pistons or Jalen Duren. So I'd assume they're at a little bit of a standoff here. The last update I saw was that the Pistons wanted to sign him for $35 million, nothing more, which I think would be a steal considering, a lot of the different numbers that we've seen all-star players get. We've seen all pros get before hitting their rookie extension that they're eligible for. I think $35 million would be a number I'd be happy with. But the thing is, if you're the Pistons, what leverage does he have to even get the $35 million number? There's no one else to pay him. The only team with cap space is the Nets, and they have shown zero interest in him. So if I'm the Pistons, I might even be bringing that number down. No, we're actually not going to sign you for anything more than what Walker Kessler gave you, because at least that guy plays defense, even though he doesn't really play because he's always hurt. The Pistons have all the leverage in the world, but they do have to be careful about not disrespecting Duren and his number so much that he becomes soured with the organization. Because I think if there's one thing Jalen Duren has learned through this entire process, is he is not getting the money that he necessarily thought he was getting or the money that he thought he earned. That number is not going to be achieved, right? Anywhere near 45, 44, north of 40. It's just not going to happen for Jalen Duren. He's not even going to be anywhere near the max that he was eligible for that the Pistons could have given him for. Now it's just a matter of how can the Pistons retain Jalen Duren without disrespecting him and burning that relationship between the front office and the player. I think you probably just start at the Walker Kessler number, right? Which was 32.5?
Correct. By the way, the Donovan Mitchell final year of his deal, real quick, $75.5 million.
Yeah, it's the same number. Booker's isn't quite as high as I thought it was. I looked at that, but there is 1 year where Booker's making $73
He also
million.
signed it 2 or 3 years ago,
right,
which makes it even crazier. But yeah, going back to this Duren thing, I like the point you bring up. It was what I was going to say about it does get to a certain point where the Pistons do have to be careful where they're going a little bit too hardball.
Yeah.
They're going a little bit too no, with the cap space, we can't give you too much here.
Trey just got to understand, he already won.
Exactly. They have already won this little standoff, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to say it's a battle because they're going to be friends at the end of it. No people that battle end up being on the same team afterwards, other than Kevin Durant and OKC and the Warriors. But they can't stoop too low. They can't be you know what, Duren, we actually are going to give you $28 million a year.
Because they could, because there's not another team that'll give them that money.
And also, it does get to a point where actually the smart thing for Duren is to be yeah, you know what, we're just actually not going to sign an extension. And we're going to sign the qualifying offer, and you're either going to be forced to trade us, or I'm going to play this entire season on an expiring contract, and I'll hit the open market next year. And if Jalen Duren is hitting the open market unrestricted, teams will clear cap space to sign him.
Yeah, that's when you're afraid of losing Jalen Duren.
100%. And that realistically could happen if they stoop this thing too low. So yeah, I'm with you in the fact that I like the way that the Pistons have played this out. We've gotten to a point though where I'm man, why haven't they come to an agreement yet? Are the Pistons going too low? Is Jalen Duren still being in his camp, still being stubborn and hey, we want $40 million? I don't know where they're at in this process, but it has gotten to a point where I'm okay, can we figure this thing out by now?
Because it's putting a stop
We've
on
gotten
any
through the
other
hard
move
part.
that they're trying to make.
Yeah.
Trading for Trey Murphy, trading for Michael Porter Jr. None of that stuff can be done until Jalen Duren signs his contract because they've got the bird rights to him, so it doesn't really count against the cap space.
We've gotten through the point where all of the BS reports about all these other teams are willing to acquire Jalen Duren, and Duren wants to play for this team and that team. All that stuff is dead. Like there's not a team out there that can go do anything right now. So we've gotten through all of that. Now let's get back to reality here. Duren is going to be on the Pistons. Let's just get this extension done. And I'm confused as to why it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I don't think Jalen Duren's going to want to sign the qualifying offer and play for a 1-year contract, though. Because then you're really worried about, what if I get hurt? What does that mean for my long-term money? I think the smarter thing for Jalen Duren to do, assuming the number's not, ultimately disrespectful enough to where suddenly you're making like half as much as you thought you were going to. Like the Pistons are lowballing him at $20 million a year. As long as that's not the case, the smarter thing for Jalen Duren to do to set up his future is to sign this contract for 4 years, set him up, take all the guaranteed money that you can. Every dime of it is guaranteed in the NBA. You don't want to be playing on a qualifying offer and then suddenly not have any sort of reassurance as to what's going to happen to you throughout the course of the season. That's not a good situation. That's not a comfortable feeling for any professional athlete, let alone an NBA player who it feels like on a year-by-year basis, more and more players are having these career-altering injuries in the midst of the season.
Yeah, and it would just create a world where the Pistons likely have to trade him, right?
If he's on the qualifying offer?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
You're just going to lose him. So then you just have to sign it, or you just have to trade him at that point.
Because if
on
he
an
signs the
expiring deal.
qualifying, you're not like the odds of him coming back and re-signing once he hits the open market are very low. Every team's going to have the cap, find some cap space, have the ability to go sign him. They don't have any. The Pistons lose every ounce of leverage to bring him back.
100%.
And they've already made it clear they're not going to pay him a ton of money. So yeah, it would just be assumed at that point that somebody else is going to make the money to pay him.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, you may as well just trade him if he signs that qualifying offer. So if I'm the Pistons, I'm now thinking, yeah, I understand I could continue to lowball Jalen Duren. I could continue to give him these crazy offers, and he's not going to have elsewhere to sign. But at some point, you have to mend the relationship that you have somewhat damaged with Jalen Duren. It's not like he has a mended relationship with his teammates or the coaches, but he's definitely soured towards the front office, and he has every right to be. But it's on the Pistons now to give him something that he at least feels value to the organization, to where you can lock him up for 4 years and not have him just sign a qualifying offer because, first of all, that doesn't really happen. Second of all, that would lead to a pretty weird situation going into the year. Third of all, you probably have to trade him anyway, and then you're going to lose him for absolutely nothing.
And it just like for Jalen Duren, the whole point of this offseason was him getting paid, right? It puts a whole year pause on you getting paid. Like his qualifying offer is $9.6 million.
Yeah, that's...
If his agent, his agent has clearly played this wrong. We've talked about this over and over again. His agent is just going to make significantly less money if they sign this qualifying offer. Like even if the deal is straight up a 4 for $120, like it is $30 million annual, and the Pistons get away with this humongous steal.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's worst case scenario for Jalen Duren if he does sign a deal, right? Is that number probably? That's still $120 million that his agent is taking X percentage of.
Yeah.
Rather than $9.6 million. Right? Like that is a humongous difference. And so that it's the reason why I still think Duren's agent is just continuing to play this so terribly. Like at some point you have to come to realization and rock with whatever the Pistons are at least agreeing to, because there's no other team that can. But it was handled poorly from the start. The Pistons recognized it right away. And I think this new second apron allowed the Pistons to recognize this right away. Like it's the unfortunate era that we're in for the players in this league. Whereas if the second apron didn't exist, 5 years ago or whatever, Duren's just getting the max.
Yeah.
He's just getting that max deal.
And now players get the max deal, like not even just the rookie extension, but just the full max that Donovan Mitchell just got. And then the first reaction is, oh, wow,
yikes.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh, they have no wiggle room now.
Yeah. That wasn't the case 5 years ago before this new second apron kicked in. And now you're right that most players who get paid are not worth the money that they're being paid anymore.
He would have at least gotten the 4 for $177 that every other team could have offered. He would have gotten that.
For sure.
Now the 5 for $289 or whatever.
How many players are truly worth the max deal that you can get, like the Donovan Mitchell deal. It's
the
Wemby, it's
top
Jokic,
guys.
it's Shea.
I think it stretches further than that.
Luka?
Yeah, I think it's Luke. I think like Cade,
Luka only plays on one
Anthony
side of the ball.
Edwards. Like I think the guys that are like the faces of your franchise for years and years to come, all of those guys are worth whatever dollar amount you have to pay.
Yeah, but Cade's nowhere near the. I agree with you, but Cade's nowhere near that.
Yeah,
68
but,
million
But I'm just
number.
saying, like whatever max they are eligible for, when you're like, oh, this guy is eligible for blank, we don't care, sign him.
Well, the thing is, the rookie extension is not the scary extension. The scary extension is what happens afterwards, like the Mitchell extension.
Yeah.
The second contract is really, I guess.
Well,
it's
even
the
the guys
third
though that like
contract.
make All NBA during their rookie deal, like Cade, like he made a lot more money than he could have made because of him making All NBA.
But there's still some sort of restriction, right? Compared
Well,
to
yeah,
what Mitchell can
yeah,
sign.
you can't make the $70 million, right? But I'm saying like it's still like way more, like even the Duren thing, right?
Yeah.
He would have initially been eligible 4 for 177. Now it's 5 for 289
And
because of the All NBA.
no one was going to sign him to that.
Well, only the Pistons could.
Right. And the Pistons, it was never even crossing their mind that they were going to pay him.
But if he was some top 8 player in the league, let's do it. Let's we got to make you happy because that's still the number one priority I think in the NBA. No matter the salary cap, is making sure your superstar players are happy.
Well, the Pistons certainly haven't done a good job of that with Jalen Duren.
I'm saying the super duper stars, the faces.
It's funny because even guys that are like allegedly worth it, like a Finals MVP and then a Jason Tatum, it's like, yeah, we just can't have two guys making this much money on the same team. It was just essentially what the Celtics told us.
And like, look at the Finals MVP this year. Brunson's not making no dummy contract.
And probably never will.
Dude took like $120 million less than he could have signed for.
Yeah, I thought Pablo was going to look into that. Seems a little suspicious. Not going to lie.
Or is he just a good guy?
He might just be a good guy, and I'm sure it's worth the title. We're just in a weird era where it's basically impossible to keep a team together and have success for more than like a couple years stint. There's a reason there's been, 8 or 9 straight years of a different NBA champion. Can't keep your core together. It's like borderline impossible. The Celtics couldn't do it. The Thunder are on the verge of, we'll see what happens there. The Knicks already lost Mitchell Robinson. I know that's not like a huge part of their core, but the part of the reason they're going to be able to keep it together is because Brunson's making such little money. It's really hard to do this in the second apron era of this NBA that we've now lived ourselves into, which is why it is such a win for the Pistons that they were able to win the Jalen Duren contract. And all of a sudden, there's not 2 max deals that the Pistons have to pay for their 2 best players. It's an enormous win for Trajan Langdon. There is a player who hit the open market over the last 48 hours who I think would not be a terrible fit for the Pistons to come off the bench. I'll tell you who that is when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt, 10 o'clock hour, brought to you by Aired Insurance. They're all about putting you in a better insurance position. Whether it's your home, auto, life, or business coverage, they make sure your protection actually fits your life. If you're looking for a team that takes the guesswork out of insurance, this is it. Be sure to go follow Aired Insurance Group on social media to stay connected every day and see how they're helping people along the way.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. So, former All-Star DeMar DeRozan was released by the Kings yesterday. Talk about a crappy situation to be in. Not that anyone in this town or region or on our YouTube cares about the Sacramento Kings, but this is like a horrific situation, being a first apron team that also just has one of the worst rosters in the league. There's a reason they're releasing DeMar DeRozan. They want to be bad. They want to be bad. But he's on the open market. He'd essentially be for free because the Kings are still paying him all this money. I look at DeMar DeRozan as a guy who could be an elite player off of the bench for this Pistons team that desperately needs more scoring off the bench in non-Cade Cunningham minutes. Now, is this a good fit with the starters in terms of spacing the floor and giving Cade more room to operate? No, because DeMar DeRozan's a very below-average three-point shooter, not just for his career, but the last couple of years as well. So in that essence, it's not a good fit. But in terms of, hey, Cade's not in the game right now, we just need some more players that are able to create their own basket. It's kind of DeMar's entire game and always has been. He's going to go dominate the mid-range. He's an old-school scorer, and he still can go get buckets and put the ball in the hoop. To have him and Abuka Okori, who we all kind of assume and hope is going to be someone who can get their own basket from a very early stage in his career as a bench player. I think having both of those guys would be a really nice addition for this Pistons team. It's just a matter of, can DeMar DeRozan accept that if he really wants to win a championship, which he has no rings, can he accept that he's never going to be a starter for a championship contending team again? And that's really what this comes down to. And if he can accept that, I'm sure there's a lot of teams that are lined up hoping that he takes a bench role with them. Now, if he wants to go just get buckets and be a starter somewhere, it's going to go be for another Sacramento Kings adjacent team that has no business in winning anything, let alone an NBA championship. This is really, where does he think he is? Where does he view himself amongst the league? Because I think most people would say, yeah, this is not a top 50 player in the NBA anymore. But in my mind, it's still someone who is a veteran, knows how to score the basketball, and could help the Pistons if he accepts a bench role in which, yeah, you're just going to score in the non-Cade Cunningham minutes. Go get yourself some. I think this would be a fun fit.
This is tough.
It is.
DeMar DeRozan hasn't come off the bench since his rookie year.
And there's been no reason for him to yet.
Right, and that's kind of been his whole thing. Like, does he want to continue to be the guy that gets buckets on a team that's not going to be in the playoffs? Is he content at this point in his career, and he just wants to continue to play his game and ride this thing out? Or does he
get up
want
the all-time scoring list?
Yeah, which, like, I mean, he averaged 20 points per game for like 12 straight years. I mean, he's got to be like decently up there, right?
Let me look.
Is he like a top 40 scorer ever? That might be a little bit of a stretch.
No, he's much higher than 40, dude.
25?
Higher.
He's a top 25 scorer of all time.
He's 16. He's okay. So
Ever?
Akeem Olajuwon has scored 26,946 points. DeMar DeRozan has scored 26,711 points. So that would be the reason where it's like, in my mind, it's like, why would you not just accept a bench role to go win a title? This is why he could pass a bunch of these. He could pass Akeem Olajuwon
and that's what
next
I'm going to
season.
say too. Like, it's easy to be like, oh, but you should try to win a ring. You should try to win a ring. NBA culture. Oh, you should try to win a ring. If he does go try to win a ring, which one, it's not like he's guaranteed to win a ring if he goes to the Pistons of any team.
Correct.
But it would be him coming off the bench as like a role guy. It's not like that's going to be glorified. DeMar DeRozan, he's got a ring. He won a ring. Yeah, he did it as a bench player.
I still think that goes a long way for a lot of
does,
these
but
veterans.
If I'm DeMar DeRozan, man, like you said, I think I just want to try to climb this all-time scoring list. I'm going to go sign with the Brooklyn Nets. I'm going to go sign with like a team that I can go get buckets on. The Milwaukee Bucks. Sure, I'll go play for them next year.
I mean,
I'll grab his 24.
He's 2,000 points away from passing Shaq.
And a reason, so here's like some of the reasons why you would be like, oh, maybe this could be a thing for the Pistons. The reason why he's so high on that list, the guy is pretty durable. Like his entire career. He's played 75-plus games in 5 straight seasons now, 6 straight seasons, that is. Even like the COVID years, he still played most of the games. He's played in all 82 a couple times in his career. Like, he's never really he played 60 games in 2015. That was the lowest of his career. Like, he plays. So that obviously helps. He's also extremely clutch. Like, he would be a guy late in games where, hey, if he's got it tonight, like, would be a guy you could go to.
Yeah.
He finished top 3 in clutch player of the year. I don't know how much that matters to you.
Wow.
Twice in his career.
Wow.
Remember that stretch in Chicago where he had back-to-back buzzer beaters on back-to-back nights?
No. It wasn't just back-to-back nights. It was December 31st and January 1st.
Yeah, and it was.
How could you ever forget that?
Wasn't it like the first time that it ever happened too? A guy hit a game-winning buzzer-beating 3 on back-to-back nights.
I don't remember if it was a 3 or not, but
No, I remember both shots precisely. It was the one-legged floater deep right wing, and then he hit one in the corner. The crazy
you're right.
corner double clutch 3. Like, I remember both of them. That year in
he was
Chicago,
really good.
He was unbelievable. Second-team All-NBA that year, 28 a game. That was also in 2022. Like, it was years ago. I don't think he fits as much as you talk about, though. I don't think he's a great fit. You say he's not a great three-point shooter. No, he just doesn't take them. He doesn't take them. It's not even the fact that he's a bad three-point shooter. He doesn't take threes.
And he won't stand out there.
He takes he took 2 threes a night last year. That's a Sar Thompson type. Now obviously he's going to score the ball a lot, but like this isn't. We talk about Tobias Harris being like a clog on offense for Detroit last year. DeMar DeRozan is the clog.
Well, DeMar's also would not be in the starting lineup the way that Tobias theoretically fit into the starting lineup. I think if DeMar was coming here, it's only to be a 6th or 7th man off the bench in the non-Cade
And I just don't know
minutes.
if he's at that point of his career, though.
How old is DeMar DeRozan?
He's going to be 37 at the start of
It's pretty
next
old,
season.
man.
It's pretty old.
He might not have 3 years left in him. And if he wants to go become a top 10 scorer of all time, which he's a few seasons away from doing, then by all means, go chase it and go be a top 10 scorer of all time.
But even last year, you did see a big dip in his minutes for the first time. He's always been a heavy minutes per game guy. He went from 36 to 31 last year. But this would just be a large ask of a guy who hasn't really shown the signs of like, wow, he is like a bench player now. To be like, hey, I know you've played 32, 35, 38 minutes a game the last like so many years of your career. We're going to move that to 19.
I agree that he hasn't shown the signs, but the game has evolved so much and he has not evolved with it. Like, I think of a lot of players that have evolved with the game, like a Brook Lopez, where it's like, yeah, this guy had never shot a 3 before, and then all of a sudden he became this elite 3-point shooter because he adapted his game to evolve as it was evolving. DeMar has never done that. DeMar has never been a guy where it's like, well, now I'm going to work on a 3-point shot because that's the direction that the league is going. DeMar was drafted into an era that didn't have an emphasis on 3-point shooting, and he never changed his style of game. And the game has moved on for him to where now DeMar DeRozan is not a top 50 player, even though he has an incredible ability to score in the mid-range and put the ball in the hoop and go get himself buckets. But it's not very efficient baskets. So for that reason, even though he hasn't necessarily showed physical signs of slowing down despite his age 37 season upcoming, I think he has to be well aware that I am not a good fit for most championship teams anymore. that have aspirations of going on playoff runs because I don't space the floor. And I can't be this high-volume scorer who also doesn't space the floor on a championship team. Those things don't coexist for him.
So you think either he's going to shoot more threes or he just isn't a starter?
No. I think he's either plays his own style and continues to do that and scores 16, 17 points a game on a crappy team, which if that's the case, why would he have demanded a release from
I don't think he demanded one. I think Sacramento just is willing to move off of him.
Sure.
What's the point in having him?
He'll either go to an adjacent Sacramento situation and just score a bunch of points, or he'll accept a role off the bench for a team that actually has aspirations of going on a little bit of a run. Those are his only two options. If he wants to continue playing his style of basketball, and I have no reason to think that he's going to change that because he's age 37. Why would he? He never showed any sort of adaptability as the game evolved. He never wanted to, and that's fine. But now you have to make a choice. Do you want to go score points and climb the all-time scoring list and go past Elvin Hayes and Moses Malone and Akeem Olajuwon this upcoming season, or do you want to go truly contend and win a championship, something he's never done? It's on him. I think it'd be a good fit if he totally was all in on being like, yeah, I just want to win a title and I'm here to be a bench player. If that's the case, and if you got that version of DeMar DeRozan, are you still out?
But, you say he's a bench player. Does that mean he's never, ever playing with Cade or Duren or Asar? He obviously is going to be playing with those guys.
I think for him
it's
to play
so
with
jumbled up.
Asar would be tough.
But that's what I'm saying. If your idea of him being on the bench and he's never playing with the starters, then he's playing 14 minutes a night. That's not DeMar. He's still going to play 20-plus minutes a game, no matter where he goes.
Yeah.
He's the sixth man if he's any, he's still playing 20, 25 minutes a game. So, he still will play with those guys. And I just don't love that lineup.
Yeah, that's a tough fit. Anything with Asar and Duren to have three guys who can't shoot, obviously, is not good.
It hypothetically takes pressure off of Cade, sure, because it adds another score. It also makes it tougher on Cade if DeMar is on the floor, though.
With Duren and
correct
and Asar, yes. Now, if Duren and Asar are both off the court, I think DeMar's a perfect guy to have.
Do they have
Cade Cunningham? But they don't have another big right now.
I was going to say, do they have a stretch big?
No, and that's starting to be a fatal flaw.
And then you've got
team.
DeMar as a defender at 37 years old.
Yeah, it's not great.
With no Asar out there? I don't know. I don't really love it. I like DeMar. Imagine if he went back to Toronto. Amidst
that'd be really fun.
All the Drake and Kawhi stuff.
I don't think he's welcome there anymore.
There's no way.
Honest.
No way he is. Which is crazy because, he's the one that got shipped out of there. Toronto did him dirty, and I don't know why everybody, hates him.
Because Drake doesn't like him.
Yeah, but the Kendrick stuff, obviously. But, they screwed him over. The Raptors did. He was their franchise guy, and they were just the second they had a chance to get rid of him, they dumped him.
And it worked out because they won a title.
100%.
And then he hopped on a Kendrick Lamar song.
Yeah, but years
said,
and years later, yeah.
What'd he say? Glad we got D-Rose home. Y'all didn't deserve him either. And then Drake obviously had a lot of response to that.
Yeah, glad you got him in Sacramento. Right.
989-837-6125. Yeah, that's tough. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mitt. We will take a trip around the league when we come back. Like I told you, the 10 o'clock hour is brought to you by Arid Insurance. As temperatures rise across Michigan, termite season, that's officially underway. And many homeowners don't realize there's a problem until the damage has already been done. At Four Seasons Exterminating, we're offering professional termite inspection and treatments to help protect your home before major damage happens, along with pest control, lawn care, mosquito treatments, bedbug services, and more. Call Four Seasons Exterminating today and visit the website to schedule your inspection.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Yesterday we had Monday Night Football. Let's do a little football right now with the trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
So The Athletic put up this fun piece. One newcomer for every NFL team heading into training camp. The most intriguing newcomer. So I'm going to start saying teams. You got to tell me who the most intriguing newcomer is. Easy enough?
Yep.
Let's start with, well, this one's in alphabetical order. So let's start with the Arizona Cardinals. Who is the most intriguing new character for the Arizona Cardinals? Also, let's just do it in two different ways.
I'm just supposed to know all their new players?
Well, it's not all players. For example, this one is Matt LaFleur. He is their most intriguing new player. But we don't even
have Matt LaFleur.
Mike LaFleur, I'm sorry. So we don't even have to do this as like a quiz. You tell me who you think is the most intriguing player. And how about this? Well, let's just tell each other who we think is the most intriguing player on this team going into this. Because, okay, the newcomer's Mike LaFleur. Sure. Another guy in the Shanahan, McVay tree. Another young mind trying to get in off. I think the most intriguing player going into this season for the Cardinals is Marvin Harrison. Because this secretly is a pretty good weapon room in the NFL. It's a pretty good room. Like Jeremiah Love, Michael Wilson, who in theory is an awesome wide receiver too. Trey McBride's the best tight end in the NFL for right now. If Marvin Harrison truly can become an alpha player on offense, this does become one of the better weapon groups in the NFL with all of those guys, tight end, running back, and wide receiver duo combined. But it takes Marvin Harrison taking that step forward from his first 2 years.
And can he?
I think he still can.
Like with their current quarterback situation, I guess Brissett kind of airs it out. So
it's got to be Brissett. It can't be Beck.
Yeah, it has to be Brissett for any of that to yeah, because I guess Brissett like made McBride and Wilson have awesome years.
Yeah.
I would say Love is the most intriguing newcomer just because they took him so high and they already have so many other running backs in that room. The coach is interesting for sure, but I would probably rock with Jeremiah Love.
Defensively, Walter Nolan. I think he's the most fascinating player on the defensive line. All right, the next one. Baltimore Ravens. Who do you think is listed as the newcomer, the most intriguing newcomer, and who's just the most fascinating player heading into the season for the Baltimore Ravens?
I mean, first off, Jesse Minter has to be, right? It's our new head coach. John Harbaugh's gone. John Harbaugh's been there my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse Minter being there has got to be the most interesting newcomer.
Well, it's not.
Of course it's not.
It's an all-pro player. Trey Hendrickson, who's led the league in sacks 2 of the last 3 years. He doesn't care.
Who cares?
He doesn't care.
Give me Jesse Minter, man.
New head coach, new culture, more so than the defense that he brings to the table. I think is the most fascinating part.
It's just
is Lamar
going to
like
different
him?
Person being there. Like I think that's crazy. Baltimore fits like such a precise. Like we know the Ravens, just the Ravens as a culture.
Well,
it's like the Steelers. You know, like
and
you
both
just
teams
you just
have new
know
coaches.
you just know what they are. And now that they don't have the same head coach, not saying that Minter can't represent that, but will it be different? I don't know.
Yeah, because Harbaugh and the Ravens were always a team that they weren't going to beat themselves. They were going to take care of the little things. Great special teams. Are they still going to have that attention to detail? Are they still going to stay out of their own way? I think the most intriguing player going into this season is the former MVP Lamar Jackson, who kind of threw a little bit of a fit over the last couple of years about John Harbaugh behind the scenes, and also was just not very good last year as a player. Whether that was because of the injuries or not, I'm not sure, but even when he was healthy, it did not look like Lamar Jackson, the video game cheat code that we've come to know and love.
Yeah.
The next one. Let's go with the Cincinnati Bengals. Who's the most intriguing newcomer here?
Pretty obvious, right? Dexter Lawrence.
Sexy Dexy. Yeah. And honestly, I would go with him as the most intriguing player, period, on this team as well. Because we know what Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are all about. We know those guys are going to be great. Can this defense finally have a player worth anchoring, a player that disrupts the opposing team's quarterback. Because they haven't had, they've had Trey Hendrickson, but to have an anchor in the middle of it now, there's something invaluable about that if you can do it from the interior spot. And now at age 28, it's time to see if Dexter Lawrence can be the game-changing player for this Bengals team because they gave up the 10th overall pick to get him.
Is Zach Taylor on the hottest seat in the NFL?
The hottest seat in the NFL going into the year.
Like, it feels like one more of these Bengals non-playoffs years, he's just for sure gone.
Yeah, I think I can get behind that.
Or is it just like Aaron Glenn?
It might be Aaron Glenn. Are you talking coaches only?
Yeah.
It's one of those two guys. I don't know which one it is. Probably which team has bigger expectations? The Bengals, right?
Yeah.
So probably the Bengals.
The only reason I say Glenn is because the Jets are just for sure going to go like 3-14.
Yeah.
And that they basically already fired him.
That's what it feels like, right?
Yeah, sadly.
The Denver Broncos, who's the biggest newcomer here? It's almost like a quiz, too, of like, do you remember what happened this offseason?
Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
Or is it John Morton?
No, I don't think it's John Morton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Jalen Waddle, who comes over from Denver, or comes over from Miami, gave up their first-round pick. Now you've got this duo of Waddle and Courtland Sutton, neither of which I've ever considered a true number one receiver. Probably 2 1Bs in Courtland Sutton's case, maybe even a 2.
Yeah, but I think the combination of them in a like non-pass heavy offense makes a ton of sense.
And a team that's just going to rely on their defense and field position more than anything. Yeah. They just want to squeak games out,
like
one-score games.
Sutton and Waddle should complement each other pretty well, too. Like, Waddle brings the speed in the middle of the field that Denver loves to utilize because they want to get the ball out of Bo Nix's hands as fast as possible. That makes a ton of sense for Waddle. Sutton is still your downfield guy. I like it.
Are you targeting either of these guys in fantasy, or is this like a stay-away team in general?
I haven't really seen the price of these guys as far as where they're going ADP-wise. I wouldn't mind Waddle. I think it'd be pretty fun, but he's not going to be as good as he was in Miami.
No.
So if he's going like at a similar range where he was in Miami, then I'm out.
Most intriguing player on the team in general?
Jarrett Stidham? Like, is
Maybe.
Bo Nix going to play?
I'm unsure.
Dude had a major injury in the playoffs. If he's not playing, then is Jarrett Stidham going to be able to hold this thing together for a couple weeks?
It wasn't a torn ACL, though. That's a good thing. It was a broken ankle, right? So
I think so.
Bone injury, usually a good thing for these athletes. I would say, can I say RJ Harvey? Is he finally going to, get the reins of the offense at any point? Or is J.K. Dobbins coming back just...
They also drafted a running back in like the 3rd round this year, so they just...
Yeah.
I'm staying away from that entire running back room.
Here's the Detroit Lions. Most intriguing newcomer is...
This is kind of a hard one.
Don't overthink it.
Drew Petzing?
Yeah. It's got to be, right?
Yeah.
Unless you want, like, it's not going to be Cade Mays. It's not going to be an offensive lineman.
Well, I was going to say maybe it's Blake Miller.
It could be Blake Miller. I think that's a fair candidate, if especially like starting at right tackle right away, in which that's a position Penei Sewell is anchored down for the last few years. No, but it's got to be Drew Petzing with the carousel that they went on last year with offensive coordinator. First it's John Moran, then John Moran's still the OC, but he gets play calling duty stripped from him. And now Dan Campbell's doing it. We want Dan Campbell to be as hands-off as possible. And when I say that, I think most people assume, yeah, because Dan Campbell's terrible at calling plays. That's not the case at all. I thought the offense got better. Like, this isn't my opinion. This is factual. The offense scored more points and got more yards and was more efficient when Dan Campbell took over as a play caller. He's a good play caller, but you don't want him to have to do that. You don't want him to be tied to calling plays, because then he's spending all week coming up with game plans and doing that sort of stuff, when in reality, he should trust his OC to do that so he can be the CEO head coach that has led the Lions to the playoffs the 2 years he was able to do that. So if Drew Petzing can be trusted to just drive the car without, a driving instructor in the front seat watching everything that he's doing, that's going to go a long way for Dan Campbell to be at his very best, which is the CEO head coach.
Which I would assume is what's going to happen.
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
Let's go one or two more. Let's find. Who do you want? What team do you want? What's an intriguing team to you?
Ooh. Let's just give me any NFC North team.
Okay. I'm looking over the Minnesota Vikings right now. So who's their most intriguing newcomer?
I mean, this is a pretty obvious one. Obviously, it's Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
but
it should be Kyler Murray, but it's not.
It's
Juwan
not.
Jennings. I get it, man. It should be Kyler Murray.
Juwan Jennings.
ASMR.
The guy that said, "Oh yeah, we're like KD and Steph and Clay."
About him, Addison and Justin Jefferson.
He said that we're like. He said this is like when KD signed with the Warriors when he signed with Minnesota. So
yeah,
he
I don't think it's anything like that actually.
To Kevin Durant, Juwan Jennings.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything like
Now
that.
Now the most intriguing guy on this team though for me, you got any idea? Because I got one.
Van Ginkel? Jefferson? 9.
It's McCarthy.
What's he going to do?
What does the McCarthy situation look like? It fascinates me. And it's not even just because I like to goof off and make jokes about him. Trust me, I certainly do. But I'm very interested to see how they handle this situation because they probably should just trade him. But what if Kyler Murray stinks? You know, like there's so many different realms that could happen with this that
I think you keep him around. What's his trade value?
You're telling it to his face, man. Hey, man, I know you were like our starter for one whole year. That's it, just one season, but we're giving up on you already. Kind of a crazy thing to do. And then just be like, but don't worry, hang around. Like, just in case the guy we brought in, just in case he's bad, you'll take over next year.
Is
but if he's
anyone
good,
willing
we're
to
going to
give
give
up
him an
more
extension.
than a 5th-round pick for him, though? Like, is anyone serious? I think the longer you wait with J.J.
McCarthy, worth
McCarthy,
hanging on to him though, like just to have him be all. I mean, he's obviously petty about it. Remember the questions he got asked at the beginning of minicamp?
Sure, but
dude was so mad.
If I'm J.J. McCarthy, I want to be in Minnesota because there's not another situation in the NFL in which you're a starting quarterback right now. Everybody has their starting quarterback with the exception of Arizona, who I assume will get it figured out with Jacoby Brissett. So your options are either be the backup for Kevin O'Connell and a Shanahan offense.
The guy who gave up on you.
Sure. But your options are, well, I'm still going to get the reps and understand this offense and have a brilliant head coach as my play caller, or go to a potential even worse situation. Because we've seen, like, Daniel Jones was a backup in this system. Sam Darnold leaves this system and ends up having a great career. Look at the backup quarterbacks that Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan have spit out. Like, guys
he's
go
been
to
here
these
for 2
systems
years, though. Like, it's not like
and
he's
revived
new.
their careers.
He's already been there for 2 years. Like, he could do that now.
Where's a better situation for him to go to?
I'm just saying, McCarthy clearly doesn't want to be there.
I'm telling you, if I'm J.J. McCarthy, you better shift that mindset because it's still the best place for you right now.
I think his best route is doing what all these college basketball players are doing.
Oh, go back to college?
Is there any way that I got another year? Kyle Whittingham, man. Like Bryce Underwood, he just needs 1 year to watch.
989-837-6125. TFS Sandy Ridge Golf Course, Midland's hidden gem where every round feels like a little bit of a getaway. Now featuring a brand new clubhouse, part lounge, part hangout, all class, perfect for cooling down or talking smack after 18. Smooth greens, scenic fairways, and enough birdies to make your buddies jealous. Sandy Ridge, they bring the game and the chill. Book a tee time, plan your outing, or stop by and pretend you know how to read a green at Sandy Ridge Golf Course, the hidden gem that's way too good to stay a secret.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
So I'm glad that we can collectively agree Norway is the team that we are adopting. America, rejoice. Your team may be done, but you can adopt Norway and no one's going to blame you whatsoever if you want to take this team in as your World Cup team the rest of the way. I don't want to just not be invested in the tournament the rest of the way.
That's
this
what I
has
was
been
going to
fun.
ask you. That's what I was going to ask you. Like honestly, let's go full 100% truth here.
Truth, sir.
Because there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with being the way that you are. You and I were not the biggest soccer guys in the world. We've talked about it. But even just in the last week or so, it feels like a large amount of investment has gone into the World Cup from you. Are you gonna stay locked in and watch the rest of these matches?
I think I'll be just
Or is the U.S. being out kind of just make you lose interest? And this is a good question for everyone too.
Yeah. No, I don't think it makes me lose interest in the tournament. I don't have a team that I'm setting my plans around to watch on a weekly basis now. Monday, it was I woke up and knew exactly what I was doing for the World Cup game. And then I knew that if they played again, it was going to be Friday. I don't have that element going for me anymore, but I'm still, I don't want to just abandon the tournament now. This weekend, there were some incredible cinematic games between Argentina and Cape Verde. Argentina plays again today.
Every round of 16 game outside of the United States has been awesome.
Yes.
And even some of those round of 32s.
Were spectacular. The Portugal, who did
Sunday's
Portugal
game
play
was
in the first one?
Oh, Portugal and
Whoever it was.
Yeah, it was, but that was the super Croatia. It was the super
Yes.
controversial one. Yeah.
Yes.
And Sunday, to have the back-to-back of Norway winning and then going right into England and Mexico in that game, that's what really drew me in 100%. Okay, yeah, this rocks outside of even watching the United States.
I think Fox has done a really good job with the 10K broadcast too. I feel like I'm in a movie theater watching all of these games. If you're able to watch on the new Fox app, which they launched a new one to do it if you're on the streaming side of things.
John hates it.
Why?
He doesn't like it.
What does he not like about it?
He doesn't like that it's not called Fox Sports, that it's Fox 1.
Why does that matter to him?
I'm just telling you
It's
what
a
he said.
10K broadcast.
I'm just telling you what he said, man.
All you have to do is download a different app. Takes 7 seconds.
He didn't like it because he couldn't find it.
Well, that makes sense because John lives in John is 25, but he lives as if he's 63. I doesn't surprise me that he can't figure out the streaming element of it. We'll have to give John a breakdown the way that we tell our parents how to download TV apps. John might need a little bit of a breakdown there on how to download a new app, how to log in.
I think I'm pretty sure he figured it out, but hopefully we get a guest appearance from John here at some point this
I think we
week.
will.
We haven't seen him in a minute.
989-837-6125. That's not true. He was on last Monday before he left.
Really?
He hopped on for a couple minutes, yeah.
Oh, unmemorable.
989-837-6125. 11 o'clock hour. On the way. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.
Easy Electric Studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
United States took a giant L yesterday. I'm still convinced Stephen A. Smith is the one that said the fa thing. There he is. Yeah, big loss for the United. You got to stop playing that, man. I'm not going to be able to take this seriously. United States takes a big L yesterday. Now I'm just anticipating you doing it again. So a loss yesterday. They looked completely out of place the entire time. I thought the lights got a little too bright. Me being a casual soccer fan even saw 10 minutes into this game, this team does not have it today. This team looks outmatched. The United States, for all of their group play games, in their first knockout game, they controlled the ball. They dominated the ball. I'm not sure if there's a time of possession stat in soccer, but if they did, if that was a thing, United States would have been winning in that department in all of their first games. Yesterday, 10 minutes in, they couldn't even get the ball onto the Belgium side of the field. So it was apparent right away this team has been outmatched. They tried to pull the trump card. They tried to rig it for the United States by allowing Balogun to play. He ends up not being able to score. And I think the United States, I don't know if it served as a distraction or not, but one thing that remained true is there are levels to this, and this felt like when a wild card team sneaks into the playoffs, a wild card team that we know shouldn't really belong into the NFL playoffs, and they end up playing the 2 seed and just getting smacked around for 60 minutes. That's what it felt like yesterday. An uncompetitive soccer game in which America had a great World Cup in terms of they played a good group stage, they won their group, they beat that expectation, they won their first knockout game, and then when it really came time to take a step, and when it really became time to prove to the rest of the world that you are a much better soccer country than you were 4 years ago or 8 years ago, and this is a different era of the United States soccer team going forward, you got smacked in the mouth and it looked like an uncompetitive game.
That's precisely what happened.
Yeah.
And that's the worst part. Like, I've seen, if we're doing like a full blame pie for everybody involved in this game, I'm seeing people trying to make all the excuses, Oh, they never should have even tried with the Balogun stuff. Yeah, I would agree. Like that, they probably never should have tried. It wouldn't have mattered, dude.
Yeah, I was just going to say. It wouldn't have mattered
if he was playing, if he wasn't playing, if he never got the red card in the first place.
You can blame the coach. You can blame the goalie.
You can blame whoever you want. Like,
I think just all collectively, it wasn't ever going to be
their
enough.
team's way worse. That's what I got from it. And I think, honestly, like, not being the big-time soccer head fan is almost a good thing here.
It's a good perspective.
It's a good casual perspective. Watching that game, yeah, that Belgium team is just way better.
Yeah.
I've seen everybody say this, and now that am thinking back to the game, they dominated the midfield.
Yes.
Anytime,
for sure.
Anytime that there was there's a chance for either team to take possession here, boom, Belgium got it every time.
And that goes right into what I was
time.
just saying about like controlling the ball, the time of possession. It's just like, Belgium just had it. And if you're winning the battle at midfield, you're probably going to win that theoretical made-up stat that I just threw out there that's mostly a football stat or a basketball stat, not really a
and I
soccer
really
stat.
thought the Tillman goal, the penalty kick was like truly going to get them back into this.
Then they allowed
because
a goal
it was,
10
it
seconds
was
later.
Awesome. Like, it was another just awesome goal. It deflects off of Belgium. Oh, your own guy knocked it in the goal. Didn't matter. Didn't matter, like, literally at all. They were unfazed.
Well, they let a goal into their own net in mere seconds after that. It was a free kick, right? Not a penalty kick.
Yeah, whatever it was.
That was, 2 minutes had went by and it was not tied again because Belgium took the lead. If those teams played 10 times, I'm not sure the United States wins twice. You'd have to get pretty lucky, and obviously soccer, low-scoring game, so just a lot of anything can happen being said. That just felt like an uncompetitive game. It felt like when, the Washington Commanders, or at that time the football team with Taylor Heineke, snuck into the playoffs and went up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's what that felt like. Uncompetitive game. Yeah, at home. A place that they had never lost, Lumen Field. Which on the broadcast, did you see they were calling it Seattle Stadium? What, Lumen didn't get in on the sponsorship on the World Cup?
I guess not.
Not allowed to call it Lumen Field on the.
We're gonna start calling this Loons Park.
I don't think Dow would like that very much.
So that's what I'm saying. Like,
but yeah, it just felt like for as good vibes as the United States team had, and for as much appreciation as people had watching this team, and as much as it felt like, hey, they might be doing something special here, it turns out they're still a huge step away from getting to that point where they can legitimately make some noise in a World Cup tournament. And I just am living in the vacuum that I live in of thinking, yeah, I don't know if this is ever going to happen. Maybe that's naive of me to think, but
yeah.
They were so far away where I feel like that's an appropriate response to me the next day.
What's